Yeah, they're still debating inside right now. In fact, I've got the live stream up right here so that we can continue to watch the amendments that are coming in here in this meeting. Again, this meeting started at 9 a.m. today, so they've been talking for a while here. Here's the big change, the headline. If this bill passes, which it's looking like it will, it would cap rent increases at 3% plus inflation costs, maxing out at 6%. And look, this is thought of as a compromise. Coming into today, there were some people that wanted it to max out at 3%. Others were calling for it to max out at 9%. During the break, we spoke with people on both sides. Take a listen.
I think it's what we need as a county. I think the council members need to represent the people. Just a few days ago, we were sorting through quarters just to see if we can make ends meet. And that is not just my story.
At the moment, it feels as though it is not balanced. And my concern is that this will stifle development projects, which everyone agrees we need.
Okay, so a few other changes that would be in this bill if it passes. It would limit the amount of fees that a landlord can place on tenants. It would also limit how much they could raise the rent with a new tenant. The big question that we're monitoring right now as I continue to watch the live stream is about whether there should be, that cap should sunset after a few years. After 3 years is one of the amendments. So again, we're gonna have to continue to watch this meeting to find out what happens with that sunset amendment. Now, this would all be a big deal. There are some 400,000 renters in Montgomery County. It's nearly 40% of the population. All of them could be impacted by what's being discussed right now in this building behind me. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to hopefully have the results from this vote, and we're going to have some reaction from renters. For now, though, reporting here in Rockville, the 7 Koslof, WUSA 9. Guys, so we've been watching it since it began at 9 a.m. and they're still in there talking right now. They're making their closing arguments right now. It's been a long day. I've been monitoring on my phone so that we could get audio intermittently. But here's the big headline. If this bill passes, which they believe they have the votes to do, it would create a rent cap of 3% plus inflation, maxing out at 6%. And again, even before they had the details finalized, organizers held a news conference outside celebrating what they're considering a big win.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Council members Will Jawando.
I am so excited about this.
And Kristen Mink saying that this 6% cap will make a big difference for the hundreds of thousands of people who rent in Montgomery County.
This legislation is incredibly important, incredibly impactful. It is going to contribute greatly.
We're almost there. Meaningful renter protection and stabilization in Montgomery County.
The bill was a compromise, leaving neither side fully happy.
It's a tough day. It's a tough conversation.
Councilmember Gabe Albornoz proposed an amendment to set a higher cap, maxing out at 9%. He argued that the lower cap will be too restrictive on landlords, but his amendment failed.
We've tried to be nuanced and have a balanced approach, but at the moment it feels as though it is not balanced. And my concern is that this will stifle development projects, which everyone agrees we need.
We're not thrilled by that, but we can live with it. It's progress.
Matt Losak from the Montgomery County Renters Alliance says they have mixed feelings as well. They wanted an even lower cap, maxing out at 3%.
Many people, particularly seniors, working families, low-income families, people on fixed incomes, can't afford 5, 6, or 7% rent increases year in and year out.
The bill also limited the amount that a landlord could increase fees and added a provision that doesn't allow landlords to hike the rent when they get a new tenant.
I live in downtown Silver Spring.
Renters like Patricia Beckham say these are big wins.
I think I've had 4 rent increases in 5 years. And for me and other people on fixed incomes, that's a lot of money.
Okay, and there were fireworks until the very end here. The last amendment, by my count, it was the 14th amendment, was about whether or not there should be a sunset of 5 years for this bill. That provision failed. One person joked they didn't expect that there would be a sunset outside by the end of this meeting, but here we are. We're going to continue to monitor this. If we do get that final vote, we'll pass it along. Reporting here in Rockville, I'm Evan Koslof, WUSA 9. It just passed about 5 minutes ago. There was an eruption of applause in this room here behind me. Again, we're talking about this 6% cap. It's 3% plus inflation costs, and it's maxed out at 6%. Councilmember Will Jawando is here. Just how you feeling to see this bill pass?
It's kind of surreal. It's exciting. Not for me personally, but for the 400,000 residents that rent. I was one of them growing up here, bouncing around from housing to housing. So many of them are rent burdened, paying 40, 50, 60% of their monthly income on rent. They're going to have the same stability that homeowners have. They're going to know that their rent can only go up so much every year. That's what this is about, and it's a big victory. We had to make compromises, but it's going to really help keep people in their homes, which is going to make our community more stable.
And it was a compromise. Some wanted 3%, some wanted 9% or even higher, and that's where they ended up. But people inside this room, thank you so much for talking with us. People in this room, very happy. So that's the latest from here in Rockville. Guys?